Thank you very much. Thank you for this invitation to Ulrike also. I'm very happy to speak about these topics in this very excellent assembly. My relation will be based on the on the base of the convention, of some principle of the convention, of the UNESCO Convention. As you know, one of the main or the most important principle is that if it is possible, we have to leave on the seabed the antiquities that we find during our research. This is one of the most important principles that we applied in Sicily, starting from the knowledge of the underwater cultural heritage. I think that the most important and the base of every strategy connected to the protection of underwater cultural heritage could be based on the exact knowledge on what we have on the seabed. In Sicily, we have a very powerful GIS that till now is made by more than 2,000 points, wrecks, isolated items, everything that is connected with cultural heritage that is on the sea, it is geo-referred on this GIS. On the base of this GIS, that is also connected to a database with a very rich form in which we put all the data connected with the wreck, all the data connected with the site. On this base, we selected some sites that we think that could be protected and could be open to the public. As we will see at the end of this relation, I think that the most successful way and methodology to save the underwater archaeological site is not to close them, but it is to open the sites and to try to let the people, the local communities, to be involved in this protection. So we selected till now 23 places, 23 underwater sites in Sicily that are protected, among others, of course, but those 23 sites are open to the public. We organized those sites according to the rules that were given by the Italian law and especially by the Coast Guard. So we have a sort of abacus in which all the equipment, all the devices that are connected with such sites was designed, that was decided in accordance with the Coast Guard rules. So the buoy, the mooring buoy, the typology, of course, some of them are also solar energized, and also the typology, the type of the label that we put in the sea. Everything is designed and everything could be organized in a way that could be framed inside the rules of the navigation that are given by the Coast Guard. Also, the label that we have outside the site, the underwater archaeological areas, are also advised on the coast. So we have on the coast also some label, but also we organize and we produce some plastic sheets that we give to the divers in order to organize their own diving. This is the front page of a typical pro forma sheet connected to a site. This is the back side. And this is the label that we put on the coast to advise the people that in front of that part of the coast there is an archaeological site. Of course, we produce also some brochure, either in plastic that you can bring with you during the diving, but also in normal paper and in both language, in Italian and in English, that can be given to the divers, to the tourist divers that would like to make the visit. In the frame of this brochure, there are also some maps, some schematic maps that the diver can follow following the points that are labeled on the seabed, with some pictures that can help the diving and the itinerary for the touristic divers. This is the panel on land, that is, as I told you, also in English, in Italian and English. But one of the last device that we produced is this underwater computer that you can wear on the wrist, in which there are some informations connected to the archaeological items. As you can see from this slide, this computer has a pointer. This pointer you put on the label, and on the label there is an electronic device. And when you put the switch on the label, on the screen will appear the informations about the object that you are going to see. Also the reconstruction of the object, if it is an anchor, if it is an amphora, all the information connected with the trade of those amphoras, and so on. But one of the most important things that we do, and I think that it is the base for the success of this activity that we do in Sicily since 10 years, is the connection with the local stakeholders, the connection with Diving Club. We make agreement with Diving Club, we make an agreement with Diving Club in which we establish that they can bring the tourists to the site, but meanwhile they have to control the site, and they have to help us to clean the site and to remove seasonally all the devices that we put on the sea ground. In some sites, in 2 sites, we have also 2 video control systems. We have some video cameras on the site that in real time, they can bring the images to any place we want, the museum, to the police station, to the town hall, and so on. One of those video control systems was placed in this place. It is what it is remaining of a Roman Republican wreck that was looted in the 50s. Now there are about 100 amphoras on the seabed, and we are sure that since 10 years there was no looting on this site. We have another typology of sites connected with the modern wrecks, in which we have iron cannons. And to leave the iron cannons on the seabed, we are collaborating with the Istituto Centrale di Restauro of Rome in order to make a sort of virtual protection of the iron cannons, avoiding the galvanic roots, streams around the cannons in order to avoid concretion, further concretion after cleaning. The Sicilian system, so synthesizing, is based on knowledge, on the strategy of opening the sites, involve local communities, this is very important, involving local stakeholders, mainly diving club, mainly hotel, mainly restaurants, all the people, all the industries and companies connected with the touristic development. Education in the school. One of the main activities that we have in our Sopra-Intendenza is to involve the schools in getting them informed about what they have in their own waters, in their own seas. International cooperation in the frame of UNESCO Convention. We have around 20 different collaborations with international agencies. But one important thing is to control all the activities. We have seen this morning that one of the major danger for the underwater cultural heritage is industrial and commercial activity. In Italy, fortunately, we have a law via ARC, in which all the activities that could be done in the sea must be controlled by the Sopra-Intendenza. And one of us will stay on board when any kind of work is going to be made in the sea. So there is a total control of the activities that are done in the sea. And of course, we have to thank every day the help of Coast Guard Carabinieri, Guardia di Finanza, and police in Italy that help us to control the underwater cultural heritage. Exhibition. Exhibition is one of the most important tools. We have an exhibition now roaming around Europe. It was in Allard Pearson Museum in Amsterdam. Now it's in Oxford. Then it will be in Palermo, and then it will be in Copenhagen and Bonn. The name is Mirabilia Maris, or Sicily and the Sea. Why exhibition is important? It is useless to tell to you that are very well trained in this field, but I would like to mention one output of the exhibition that we have done in Amsterdam. The director of the museum, the Allard Pearson Museum, after the exhibition, told us, and is going to give us, a collection of amphoras coming from Sicily that were acquired by the museum in the late 70s. So exhibitions are very important to spread all over the world the image of a normal and good way of managing underwater cultural heritage. Due to international cooperation, cooperating with the USA archaeologists, colleague archaeologists, we stopped looting of Ancona. As you know, Ancona was an Italian cruiser that was found by found by Odyssey. Odyssey started to loot this cruise because it is full of gold that was going during the First World War to the States to acquire weapons for the First World War. According to this collaboration, we stopped in the court of Tampa the looting of Ancona. Odyssey was forbidden to loot this Italian cruiser. A proposal, and I'm going to finish. UNESCO Convention has a lot of good results, but there is a problem. The problem is the can say in brackets, property of international underwater cultural heritage that is in the outside the national waters. We have a problem in the Strait of Sicily. The Strait of Sicily is full of very important wrecks and pieces like the Satyrus, the bronze satyr that is in Mazara del Vallo, that was found in between Sicily and Tunisia. Dragging nets are destroying this huge underwater cultural heritage. We need to keep safe this cultural heritage, and sometimes we need to rescue this cultural heritage. But the problem is, when we rescue according to the international strategy, who can bring these pieces, these masterpieces? So my proposal, and we are speaking with the Tunisian colleagues about that, is to find a sort of solution of building sort of international museum in which the property is a common property between 2, 3, 4 states. For example, concerning the Sicilian Strait, I can say Tunisia, Algeria, Libya, and Malta could be involved in this international property of museum. So international museums, I think that will be the next step that we have to discuss to try to protect underwater cultural heritage that we have to rescue, that we cannot live on the seabed in international waters. And this, in my opinion, will be for Sicily Strait and for Mediterranean a tribute to the thousands of migrants that are losing their life in the straits. Thank you very much.